Hi friends, so in the last lesson we learned the days of the week and the months of the year in Spanish. I thought it might be fun just to take a minute and talk about the history of the days of the week in Spanish. How did we get them? How did they form? Well, you have to go back in history to the Roman Empire. Now, the Roman Empire, we know they were very self-indulgent and they were overpowering, and they conquered lots of countries and territories. They were pretty much conquering most of their existence. Well, as the Roman Empire started to break apart and fall in the 400s AD, these territories that belonged to the Romans started to individualize and become their own territories, and they were drawing off borders over time. And they would eventually become their own countries, the ones that we know today as France and Spain, Portugal, places like that. And so Latin was being spoken there at this time. And there's one thing we know about language: it's always changing. And so in those territories, the language started changing. And of course, in what we now know as Spain, it changed in one direction. And in what we know is France today, it changed in a different direction. And so the languages split off and became what we know as Romance languages. And it was interesting because the Romans had various days of the week that honored their mythological gods. So Monday would have been named after the moon god, and it was called Lunae Dies. And so I bet you're recognizing Lunae, which comes from obviously what we know as lunar today. And so it was Lunae Dies, and Tuesday Marti Dies. And as it changed and changed, Lunae Dies changed and changed until it became what we know as Lunes. Now in France, it became lundi. They kept the di in dies rather than the es like Spanish. And so Marti Dies eventually became martes, and Wednesday was Mercury Dies. It became miércoles, and so on and so on. Well, you go through that and you can definitely see a connection until you get to Sunday. Now, Sunday is different because we look at Sunday to the Romans, solis. Obviously, what we know now is solar. It's where we get our word for sun. And so solis dies really doesn't have a connection to domingo. So the question is, how did we get domingo? Well, later on, earlier before the Roman Empire fell, we're in the 300s now. Constantine, the emperor, we know that as he was going into battle against Maxentius, he believed that he saw a vision of a cross. And as he saw that vision, he also said that he heard the words, "By the cross you will conquer." And so we know that Constantine eventually became a Christian. And he had crosses put on shields. He did all sorts of things. As he became a Christian, he started moving Christianity into the Roman Empire. Now, later on, we know that Christianity, or what we know as Roman Catholicism, was established as the main religion. And eventually what would happen is that day, Solis Dies, what we know as Sunday, would be changed to Dominus. Dominus was the name of God in Latin. And so it's from Dominus that we get Domingo, not Solis Dies. But the interesting thing is that as they had been conquering in many years past, they had been conquering Germanic tribes, that solis, that idea of a sun day would go into the Germanic tribes. And of course, we get English from Germanic as well. And that idea of Sunday was destined to go into English many years down the road. But in Rome, it changed to Dominus. And that is how we get Sunday. And that's how we get all the days of the week. It was from the Romans. We'll see you next time on The Language Tutor. Friends, thanks for watching The Language Tutor. If you have a question for me, feel free to leave it in the comment section below the video. And please click subscribe and the notification bell so that you'll never miss any of our language lessons.